sure you guys check out our channel partner, Gamer Subs, and I forgot to put the banner up here. Let's do it. Well, there we go. Hey, make sure you guys, wow, what a anyway. Hey, make sure you guys check out our channel partner, Gamer Subs. Go to gamersubs.gg and use code ZAK. It's keto friendly, 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar. I drink it to keep myself going, to keep myself energized. This afternoon, this morning, we're depending on where you are in the time zones. I'm drinking the black cherry, but I gotta tell you, if it's your first time getting this stuff, check out dragon fruit or blue raz, or even the blueberry. I mean, honestly, they're all really, really good. But I'm drinking the black cherry this morning here. It's about 11:30, and if you're not into the whole caffeine thing, they even have caffeine-free options. So definitely check them out. Use go to gamersubs.gg. Use code ZAK. Link is also in the description here on YouTube. We're also streaming to Kick. We're gonna get started right after I can find the button right here. All right. Hope that sound is coming through okay for you guys. I really hope it's not too loud. In fact, I'm going to do a check here on the Pixel 7 Pro. Because I messed up all my settings recently. Let's take a look here. Let's see how it sounds. That's how she looks. You guys let me know if the music's too loud or if it needs to be up or down. I think we're good. I think we're good. Pixel 7 Pro. Pixel 7a. This is a mouse. Here's the black cherry I was telling you guys about. This stuff is so good. If you like a nice... It's not sour. It's like this perfect tart and sweet thing. Really good. That is not a transformer. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, let's see if we're going here. All right, we got the cameras going. We're good. We got the main cam. Let's see. Let's get our focus on here. There we go. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are. It's currently almost 11:30 a.m. here. Mountain time means it's almost 10:30. West Coast Central Time 12:30. Out east 1:30. Sunday afternoon, evening, or morning. If you're over the UK, Ireland, all that good stuff over there, I think you guys are about 7 hours ahead, about 8:30 p.m. I think it is. So good evening to you. Hope you guys are doing well. Make sure you guys have your beverages on deck. And you know, I've talked a lot about this phone right here. I'll put myself down in the corner here. About these two phones right here. I feel like I've had so much use with both of these that I can confidently give you guys, I don't want to call it a final review, but I want to call it, you know, a big enough, enough insight here so you guys know what's going on. Just checking my volumes here. I think our volume is good. You guys let me know. I think we're good here. I'm so paranoid. Because I've recently stopped using the headphones, which I know is dangerous to do. But like I was saying, Pixel 7 Pro, Pixel 7a. I'm going to go from this over to here. And I know I told you in the past why I had my reservations with going from the Pro to the 7A, mainly being the bigger size, mainly being the telephoto lens when it comes to camera. However, I went on an amazing road trip this past week, and I'm going to show you guys some pictures and video from it that were all taken with the Pixel 7A. If you follow me on Threads or on Twitter, which I think most of you do, you've seen a lot of the pictures and video, but I want to talk more about it because of the heating issue. I always see... I make the mistake of, not a mistake, I guess, but I read a lot of Reddit. I don't comment a lot on Reddit. I don't post a lot on Reddit. Sometimes I post pictures in the Pixelography subreddit and whatnot. But in the Google Pixel and the Pixel phones subreddits, there's two of them. There's one that Google does monitor on a regular basis. There's always a posting every couple days where someone's talking about the heating issue on the Pixel 7a. And I got to tell you, I have not experienced this with this device. So we're going to talk more about that, specifically when I was taking 4K 60 and 4K 30 video with the Pixel 7a. So we're going to be diving into that, talking about a few other things. But first, I want to dive into the live chat. It looks like I have, so just so you guys know, I'm on YouTube right now. We're on YouTube Live, and we're also on Kick. So if you want to check out Kick, the link is down over my Twitter there. You guys go ahead and check that out. But let's dive into the live chat. Let's see who's here. Actually, you know, we should probably do this first because I forgot to do this last week. I'm gonna let you guys know that this stream is being powered by StreamYard. Go to StreamYard.com to check them out. Very simple to use. You pick a camera, you pick a microphone, and away you go. Nothing to install, nothing to download. It's all web-based, very simple to use. It records all your live streams in the background, so you can download them after and re-upload them if you need to. Edit. You can repurpose clips into 9x16 or 16:9 for other platforms like Reels, TikTok, etc., YouTube Shorts, things like that. Lots of awesome features. If you want to just focus on your content and just get the information out there and your content out there, StreamYard is definitely the way to go. You can also multi-stream, like, so for example, we're going to Kick and we're also going to YouTube at the same time. You can also stream to Twitter, you can do LinkedIn, you can do Facebook, pretty much every platform. So check them out. Appreciate StreamYard for taking care of us here. Let's dive in to our live chat. Let's see who's here. Going to go through the chat real quick. We got a bunch of y'all here, and I always forget to do this. I'm going to grab the link right now. Where is it? Let's grab this link. Let's edit this link. And you guys are like, what link is he talking about? And we'll go ahead and generate that new link and copy that right there. All right, so got a bunch of you here from our Discord. If you guys are interested in joining the Discord, there is the link right there. I'm also going to put it over into Kick there because right now StreamYard doesn't link directly to Kick, but I know that they're working on it. So yeah, you can also stream to Kick with StreamYard as well. But let's jump in here. Yes, Trey Foster. I think you were first. Yes, you were. Connor O'Regan. He's also one of our channel members. Let's give him one of these.
All right, all right, all right.
Appreciate Connor coming through here. I think he's over in, he's over in Ireland there. Shelly says here, but the 7 Pro is so good. I really want the zoom. I have the 7, and the lack of zoom makes me sad. You know, we're going to talk about that, Shelly. We're going to talk about that. And again, I'm not trying to take away. I'm not saying that this is a bad phone. I'm going to give you my reasons of switching over and whatnot. And it wasn't an easy decision, but maybe it's something. Maybe my use cases and what I'm going to describe to you guys is will give you some pause and some reasons to also weigh as well. If you're looking at going to the 7 or 7A, let's say you have an older Pixel, let's say you're coming from another device, who knows, and you're kind of weighing things. There's also to keep in mind as well, the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro will be coming out later this year, probably October-ish, just like every other year with every other Pixel. So. Connor says, I refuse to recommend the Pixel 7 to anyone that when the 7A exists, unless they find a deal on the 7, which makes it cheaper than the 7A. Yeah, that's very true. When you actually put them side by side between the 7 and 7A, they're so similar. It's almost a head scratcher, right? But the 7 does have a couple things here, software, hardware-wise, over the 7A. Again, we're going to talk about all that kind of stuff here as well. If you look at it on paper, it's like, wow. And then, of course, if you look at the price change between the two. Whew. IR1980, how you doing? I think he's been posting some cool photos in our mobile photography section on the Discord. So, again, join the Discord if you want to have some fun there. I see the members' messages. We're going to get to that here. For some reason, I can't highlight it, but I thought they added that improvement to StreamYard, but I guess we'll find out what's going on here. Jonathan Rash, how you doing? Iris says, I ordered gamer subs a week ago, just waiting for the order to arrive to the UK. Hey, cool, man. Awesome. Let me know if the music is too loud. I think the volume is good. I think we're good there. Samuel! I'm not going to pronounce the last name. How you doing, sir? Glad you're here. The Solo Mind says, I missed the Nexus line. Well, I mean, Google had to start somewhere, right? The Nexus line was definitely a developer. You know, this is what we want Android to be, and it developed into the consumer line that we have now, which is Pixel. It would be really cool if they released like a limited edition Nexus. I would be all over that. I'd be like, yes, just to have another Nexus kind of thing. I miss my Nexus phones. My favorite Nexus phone, my favorite Nexus phone for simplicity was probably the 5X. What was your favorite Nexus phone? Let me know. Probably the 5X, but I had my best experience with the 6P, which was the one that was done by Huawei, I believe. I believe Motorola manufactured the 6. It was a big whale thing. I think they call it the whale. But the 6P, which, I mean, looked very, I mean, the new Pixels look very much with this camera module here. The 6P looked, I should say, these look very much like the 6P and everything like that. So, yeah, those were great phones back there. But, you know, got to move on, right? Loud and clear, Connor says here, sounds good to me. Hello, Aaron's Gamer, how you doing? 6:30 p.m. in the UK. All right, cool. Connor says, I'd be interested to see you try to use the Pixel 7 Pro as a top-down for comparison sometimes to see what the quality. Okay, so Connor, I would love to use a Pixel as a camera. Now, as you guys know, this camera right here, this one that I'm pointing at right now, this is an iPhone 11 Pro Max. In fact, you guys might even see it hanging right here. This is my iPhone, okay? And I pretty much use it as a glorified camera. It doesn't really leave the studio. In fact, people that try to text me or iMessage me on it never get a hold of me because I never have it. Point I'm trying to make is this. Google has not opened up the ability to do an output with it. So even though I can put Filmic Pro on here and use it that way as with a really good output and whatnot, a clean HDMI output, I can't use a Pixel, either one of my Pixels or any Pixel, because Google has not allowed that output, the output for the HDMI. There are ways around it with basically, rooting your device and whatnot, and I don't want to go that route. I want to just be able to plug in and go. So I would love to, but can't right now at this time. Hopefully Google allows that in the future. So those 4K shots you uploaded were from the 7A. Darn, yeah, they were, man. And we're gonna talk about that. I put those on threads. We're gonna bring it up here on the screen. We're gonna talk about that. Absolutely, man. Do you mean X.com? Oh, did I say Twitter? We're gonna definitely talk more about this whole renaming thing, because I actually have not updated my apps yet to X. It's waiting for me. Actually, let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, right here. Check it out. So, X.com. It wants me to update. No, I refuse to do the X update. I will not. I am resisting. So, I'm gonna have to eventually, because it will break. The Discord is always fun to hop into every now and then. It's one of the few segments of the internet where there's not bad people. My Discord is very small. Everybody's welcome. Just be cool, And so if you want to come hang out and everything like that, we have different sections for memes and different conversations for Pixel, for iPhone, all sorts of things. We discuss everything, whatever you're comfortable with. The mobile photography section is really cool. You guys post some really cool pictures in there and everything like that. Karn says, I used the 6P a few times. It's close to a modern Pixel gets. Yeah, it was pretty darn close. Hashtag Twitter gang. I turned off automatic updates specifically so it wouldn't update. Yeah, I never have automatic updates on all my main devices. Which reminds me, it's possible that this is updated to Twitter X.com, whatever it's called. Yeah. Anyway, there's the live chat. Glad you guys are here. So, if you were here for the live stream, let's take a sip of our tasty beverages. Put down in the live chat what you're drinking right now. I know a lot of you put water, which is really kind of cool. Gamer subs for me. I haven't eaten yet, so this is probably going to go straight to my head. Anyway, last week, if you guys were here for the live stream, you guys know I talked about how I was so close to switching to the Pixel 7a. And so I went on a road trip this past Monday, so about 6 days ago, tomorrow will be a week, to Waterton Park, or Waterton Lake. And it's a national park with southern Alberta here, mountains, terrain, the whole bit. And I took my 7 Pro with me purely because the SIM card's in there and I have everything in here. But I took all my pictures and video with the 7A, and I posted those pictures and video primarily to Threads, but I also posted to X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. So I did post a lot of those pictures and video and whatnot. And I did want to show you guys kind of a carousel of everything as well. One thing I was specifically testing for during this road trip was overheating or heating issues with the 7A. And I've seen a lot of comments, whether it's on Twitter or Reddit. I only ever see these comments on Twitter or Reddit. I never see it on Instagram. I never see it on any other platforms. I don't see it being complained to people in the general public that pick up the 7A. And I've asked a couple of my friends that run TELUS and Rogers stores here in Canada. They're two of the big three here. I've asked them, has anybody come back with their 7A and complained about any sort of overheating or whatnot? And all of them have said no. No one's, that we know of. But again, that's a very small sample size. Your mileage may vary. But again, I only ever see the comments about overheating with the 7A on Reddit or Twitter. And I tend to feel, and again, I'm not trying to discount those people on those platforms. I tend to think that some of the loudest disgruntled voices on those platforms, Reddit and Twitter, are kind of in the minority. I don't have any specific data to point that out, but we all know how it can be on those platforms and whatnot. So specifically, when it comes to the overheating issues that people are talking about, they're talking about when they're taking 4K video, either 30 or 60 FPS, not so much 1080p. Whenever I see these comments, I always see it in regards to 4K video. So that's one of the things I specifically wanted to also point out as well. Really quick, I don't know why I can't highlight this. I want to give a quick shout out, quick hi to Don Coven, who's been a channel member for 33 months.
Oh, yeah.
33 months, Don Coven. And Connor O'Regan here, who's also been a channel member for 2 months. Don says, explain yourself, Zach. And Connor says, nice to finally catch us a live stream. Thank you guys for being channel members. If you guys want to become channel members, hit the join button. There's also something pasted there, or they're clipped there at the top of the live stream chat. Channel members get custom icon. They get priority chat. We're going to be doing some private live streams again here pretty quick. All that good stuff. And of course, my gratitude and kisses, Oh, also, by the way, side note, I did have coffee with Don Coven last week, and Don is awesome. We had a great talk. It was funny. We talked about phones for maybe 5 minutes out of the hour and a half we hung out. It was really quite wild. Also, I see that he's here in the chat right now. Mr. TrentonsTech. Now, Trenton, we're going to talk about, let me bring it up here. If you guys are familiar with Trenton, he has these awesome wallpaper packs. And we're going to be putting one of these new wallpapers. He just released some additional pastel colors. We're going to be putting some wallpapers onto the Pixel 7a. I'm going to get you guys to help me pick out. But I did pick up his wallpaper pack. The link is down below in the description. They're really cool. There's 18 different colors. They're really well done. It's very affordable. Oh, what am I doing? They're very affordable. They look great. This is the silver. And they look really, really, really cool. But yeah, Don is awesome. We had a good chat. Lots in common. I would consider Don to be a friend. Hopefully he considers me the same thing too. I know Don is also at LTX this weekend, which I got invited to. Couldn't go, unfortunately. So let's dive into the live chat here before we dive more into the Pixel 7 Pro and Pixel 7a and specific reasons why I'm switching here. So let's go take a look here. I asked you guys what you guys are drinking. So Don is in the chat. Coffee with some coffee in my coffee. That's a lot of caffeine, bro. Jonathan Rash is having the water. Connor says people actually drink water. I think I'm drinking a cappuccino. There you go. There you go. Aditya, how you doing? Glad you're here. Glad you could come through for a live stream. Appreciate you. Gonna make a coffee with my AE. Oh, Aero Express. Oh, you have an Aero Express? Oh, those look so good. Okay. I'm actually kind of jealous. That's awesome. Give me a second here. All right, there we go. Let's see here. Just had my dinner, rice and chicken. Awesome, good stuff. Yes, Dawn is 100% legit. And yes, the wallpaper does look good. I wish these would show up, but they do show up for you guys in the chat. I appreciate you guys using the. If you're a member and you have access to those emojis, go ahead and spam them up. I got a whole bunch of really nice custom ones a while back, and people don't seem to use them enough. But use them in the chat. Yes, Trenton, keep the wallpapers coming, man. I think the wallpaper thing is awesome because it's affordable and they look great, and you support a creator. Like Trenton originally made these so they fit like the Pixel Fold, and I thought that was a great way to kind of launch it. But here it is on my 7 Pro. I've seen it on other devices, so they're going to fit all devices. You just have to kind of measure it out there. I'm also going to show you once I clear out. I actually made it a cinematic style, so I'm hoping this shows okay for you guys. So I pressed this, I used the cinematic thing, and you can see how it kind of moved there. It's not the greatest with the cinematic. I think the cinematic feature for pixels is really dependent on other images, but you can see how it kind of moved there. It looks really good though. It just looks so nice and clean. It's really kind of perfect, to tell you the truth. So great job with that, Trent. Great job. Let's dive back in here. LTX was such a good time. Okay, so you just went the one day. I think it's also as well. I know you saw DePotes there. He took a picture while he was sitting in the crowd and everything like that. Yeah, there's his link right there. The link for that is also down in the description. It is a Genius link, as you guys know what Genius link is for tracking whatnot. I just did that to make it shorter and also to provide Trenton hopefully some stats later on and everything like that. I did also link it on Twitter or X, whatever the heck you want to call it. Justin Collins in the house. Good evening, Zach. Was watching the All Ireland football final. I had 2 pints of Guinness. Weather was brutal bad. Ooh. You know, here's something funny about Guinness. I used to not like it at all, but now I like drinking a Guinness when I'm watching like sports. So if I'm watching hockey or like American football, soccer, but only when I'm watching sports for some reason. But I can only ever do one because it's very I don't want to say strong. What's the word for Guinness? It's just very, it feels very potent. I guess that's another word for strong. But anyway, good evening to you, Colin. Glad you guys are here. And one more time for all the channel members.
All right.
Appreciate you guys. So let me start this out by we're going to kind of keep this angle right here. Keep this going. Keep me down the corner here just to make the most sense of this. Pixel 7 Pro. So I've had this since Pixel 7 Pro. So I've had the Pixel 7 Pro since November last year. Let me just make sure nothing incriminating on the screen here. So I've had the Pixel 7 Pro here since last year, and it's been absolutely terrific. Really like everything about this. I'm not a fan of the curved edges. And just so you know, I don't use it caseless, but I'm using caseless here for this live stream. I really have no qualms, no issues with this. That's not what this live stream is about. It's about me looking at my use cases and what I've been doing lately in the last few months, and how transitioning to the Pixel 7a is not going to be so daunting. So again, love that camera system with the look at that dust on there. Okay, anyway, love that camera system on there with the telephoto, the main shooter, and obviously the wide and the ultra wide and everything like that. So it's been a really great device, the Pixel 7 Pro. And if you're looking for the top of the line of what Google offers, whatnot, this is definitely it. I mean, I would definitely put this up against the Fold. Technically on paper, the camera system is better on this compared to the Fold, but I think you're picking up a Pixel Fold mainly for that folding ability and whatnot. A couple more people here in the chat. Hey, Digital Slang, how you doing? Glad you're here. Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you coming through, man. So You guys know that in the past, I've talked about the Pixel 7 Pro, and one of the main reasons I didn't fully go to the 7A yet was because of the size, because I like the battery. I like the size of the battery. It gets me all day. But also the telephoto. So the 7 Pro is going to have that telephoto. Why is a telephoto important? Zooming, clearer photos, and just that extra ability and whatnot. Also, the 7 Pro is going to have things like macro photography and things like that. So there are a few extra features as well. And Google is very clear about this when you look at the differences between the devices. So why am I switching? Why, if the 7 Pro has everything I want, why am I switching to the 7A? The main reason is because of the size and because of the flat screen. I really love, let me just make sure that, again, there's nothing incriminating on here. Because they are both hooked up right now. And we're going to change out this wallpaper too to one of Trenton's wallpapers. But one of the things I really love about this device is just the overall size. If you guys take a look how it fits in my hand here, okay? And then we'll switch over to the Pro here. Now, Pro is definitely wider and taller, okay? But also the flat screen. I find I'm not touching things as much with my thumb and whatnot because of the flat screen. That is just such a nice addition and whatnot. The phone looks good. It's got a good weight to it. You're still gonna get a 90 hertz refresh with this. You're still gonna get that smooth scrolling. The cameras are still just as amazing, and I'm gonna show you guys some photos as well. And I've been getting all-day battery on this. Now, full disclosure, I was not getting all-day battery right away with this. But once I let the phone, I guess you want to call it, settle in after about a week, I think it was about a week or maybe 8 or 9 days, the battery just started learning like how my usage was in terms of watching video and whatnot. So I was unplugging around 7 a.m., getting to about 30 or 25% by 6 p.m. Then I would do a top up for the evening and away we go. I will say this, and this is kind of typical with all Pixels, unfortunately, and I hope Google fixes this. The charging could be a lot better. I'm using the 30-watt OEM charger with this, but I'm also using the 30-watt from Nomad. Excuse me. I'm using the 30-watt from Nomad, as well as their 65-watt, their big boy. So, as long as you're using at least a 30-watt with this and you turn off adaptive charging, you'll get a notification if you have a timer going or if you have an alarm clock set up. You'll get a notification saying you're getting adaptive charging if it's after 9 p.m. and you have an alarm clock for the next day. You just got to turn that off and you'll get the rapid charging. Make sure you're using a 30-watt or higher, and away you go. But I wish the charging was a lot faster on this. That's one of my biggest issues across the entire Pixel line, whether it's the Pro or the 7A or the 7, even the 6A. I wish the charging was a lot faster. But main reasons why I'm switching to this, the size and the flat screen. Now, Shelly mentioned something earlier in the live chat about the zooming. I'm going to show you guys some photos here in a bit that basically show the zoom capabilities on this device, okay? And are you going to get the clear 30x kind of thing on this? No, you're not. No, you're not. But for what I was using it for, 5, 10, even 15x, this has been really good. Been really, really good. But I do want to jump into the live chat here. I know there's a bunch of people. I'm glad you guys are all here on your Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. And I hope you guys are asking questions, things like that, so we can have this conversation. And hopefully a lot of the reasons I'm giving you guys for the switch here are making sense. But let's dive into the live chat here. See who's here and go through. Yeah. Connor says, I'm really impressed that Linus is able to build a company to the point where you can hold an event like LTX. Yeah, man, it's been awesome. It's kind of like a Canadian sort of thing. It's really cool. It's only like an hour and a half flight for me. I wish I could have gone. Maybe next year. Okay, so you guys are talking about football. All right. Let's go through here. Mac1164, by the way, good afternoon to you, sir. Yes, the flat screen is a selling point for me. Yeah, I know. And here's the great thing about the flat screen. If the rumors are true about the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro, then they will also have flat screens, which I think is I think it's gonna be awesome. I think that's really great. So, I want Google to launch a Pixel and an iPhone 13 form factor. What do you mean by that? I don't know. I don't. Oh, 13 mini. Okay, there you go. 13 mini. I think they're going to stick with the two. I think you're going to have your regular and your pro, and I think you're going to have a flip and a fold eventually. I hope Google does a flip version. I know that the fold's done quite well. We'll see what happens. FYI, the biggest cheer at LTX cell phone panel yesterday was when the hardware Canucks said Apple needs to adopt RCS. That's awesome, dude. That's not. I shouldn't say I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised that was a big point yesterday, given the kind of crowd that Linus has, whatnot. That makes a lot of sense. Let's take a look here. The closest we have was the Pixel 5. Now, if we want to update the current design language, yeah. So Pixel 5 was, I think, close to the mini size, if I remember. 6,000 people at LTX yesterday. Oh, so. Oh. I was hoping not to really talk about this. Okay, just give me a second. Okay. All right. So if you guys don't know who Loki is, give me a second here. All right. Loki is my cat. He's my best friend. He's my best buddy. We've had him for about 8 or 9 years now, and he was a rescue when we got him, so we don't know exactly how old he is. We estimate he's about 9 years old, 9.5 years old. He's a big boy. To give you guys an idea. Hopefully this gives you guys an idea of how big he is. He's a big boy. You guys have seen him. Okay. So it's been a hot summer here. It's been a really hot summer. And we noticed about 2 or 3 weeks ago, he was drinking a lot of water. We thought maybe it was just because of the heat. We were purposely taking him downstairs and make sure he was cooling off. And he stretches out a lot on the cool floors and everything like that. We have hardwood all throughout the house. And of course, the basement here is probably about 5-degree difference and everything like that. Anyway, I didn't think much of it. And then a couple days ago, what was it, Friday? Yeah, that was Friday. It's been a kind of a blur this week. Last couple days. He came into our bedroom and was whining and everything like that. And he peed a little bit on the floor, which has never happened. And we noticed that the pee was like red, had like a red tinge to it. Anyway, we got him over to the pet hospital, urgent care kind of thing. They did a bunch of tests. We left him there for a couple hours because they had to force him to, whatever. And yeah, he's got crystals in his bladder, in his urine, which isn't unusual for male fixed cats that are mature. He's not old, he's mature for his age. And of course, they did additional tests and they found that diabetes. Now, if you got crystals in your urine, of course, it hurts to pee. So we got him some special food. We got him on a some wet food to hopefully flush things out so you can get more water intake. He is already drinking a lot of water, but we've had to make some difficult decisions in regards to like future care. So he has diabetes. They've diagnosed him with diabetes. Sometimes with cats like this, especially when you catch it early like this, sometimes they can fix themselves, if you will, and the diabetes kind of goes away. What they're recommending right away is they were recommending twice a day insulin injections, all these different tests and whatnot. And to be quite honest with you, it's not something that my family and I can float in terms of financially right now. And it's unfortunate. And I hate, it breaks my heart that we have to look at the cost of medication for him over his health and whatnot, especially when he hasn't done anything wrong. So that it's been really hard. So what we've decided is we're going to introduce more moisture into his diet. So wet food at night, dry food in the morning. So he gets fed twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. We're going to do wet food at night, dry food in the morning. He's on some medication right now for the next 4 or 5 days, just some antibiotics and whatnot. So once he's done that, we'll introduce this new diabetic lifestyle with more moisture and whatnot, and hopefully that will sustain and prevent the crystals from happening again and get rid of the bacteria. I'm not an expert, obviously, and everything like that when it comes to the cats and whatnot. I've done a ton of research. I've asked around. But the cost to do the insulin injections and whatnot, it's not something we can float right now, unfortunately. Even the change of food has come with a quite steep, increase and whatnot. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments here at the house and everything, and we will. It just sucks. Like, my parents had a cat. It was my first cat. Her name was Tuffy, and she was on insulin for 1.5 years, and then she ultimately passed away due to cancer. There's been people in my comments, and people have told me they do insulin injections with their cat all the time, and their cat, lived for 5-6 more years, kind of thing. He's not complaining. He's not whining anymore. He seems to be completely normal. He was cuddling with us last night, licking my head. He likes to lick my head. I don't know why. All along my forehead here. And I let him because, we're bros. And so we're going to change the diet and hope for the best and just introduce more moisture and go from there. So I was going to talk about it later. Later on. So Justin, I do appreciate you bringing it up there. Yeah, Apple does need to introduce RCS. Oh, and let me just point out just one more time, just for all of you that have sent messages, replies on Twitter and whatnot about Loki. I appreciate it. My wife appreciates it. My kids really appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot that a lot of you are concerned and whatnot. He's always my little model there with phones and whatnot. So I think at this point I might actually have more pictures of Loki than my kids. So yeah, so we're gonna keep an eye on him, change his diet and everything like that. But as for going the insulin route, it's not something that we can float right now, unfortunately. So just not in that position, unfortunately. But because we caught it early, we're hoping going the food route and change of diet. He needs to lose weight just like I do. So we'll see what happens. Gonna go through the rest of the chat here. Okay, so at LTX saw lots of folds and vultures there. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Trent says here, hope things work out for him. It's always tough when pets get sick. Yeah, dude, it's the worst part about having an animal, and I know it comes with the territory. We don't have pet insurance. We got him as a rescue. We took him twice within the first couple of years for regular vet checkups, and we haven't had any other indicators up until 2 days ago that he has any issues. There's never been any issues. There's never been any hairballs, no throwing up, nothing. He has been such a healthy boy, even for being such a big boy. He doesn't go outside. He stays inside. He watches over the kids. It's really kind of cute. And, follows them around, stuff like that. So, we've never really had a reason to take him. I'm sure in years our vet would have said, he has to lose weight and everything like that. So we'll keep an eye on him. I'll keep you guys updated, but I do appreciate you guys checking out. Connor says, I'm sorry to hear about that, Zach. Hope you make a recovery. Real life we could. Yeah, it does suck, man. He's definitely a part of the family. We love him very much. Bob Grimes in the house. How you doing? It's tough. It's been over 1.5 years since I lost Happy, my Dashian from 14 years. I'm still not over his passing. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Bob. I probably cried more in the last couple of days than I ever have in the last couple of years. I'm serious, and my kids have never seen me like that, and I don't want to make them upset. And we don't try to hide things with them and whatnot. We try to be as transparent as possible with everything. So it just sucks. It sucks, but we're doing our best to keep him comfortable. He seems perfectly fine. If you guys are cool with it, just put it in the chat right now. If you guys are cool with it, I will go get Loki and bring him here so you guys can see him everything like that. I think he's out in the den. But put in the chat, and I'll go get Loki, and we'll bring him in here to say hi. He doesn't normally hang out in here during the live streams or anything like that. But yeah, before we dive into more about the 7 Pro and the 7A here, maybe I should go grab him. And okay, you know what I'm gonna do here? Let's, because it's bugging me. Give me a second here. All right. All right, you guys enjoy the tunes, and I'm gonna go get my big boy. Okay, be right back. See you, okay? So let's put you down here. Here. Let's all right. Let's put the camera right here. Hopefully the people can see you. All right. Oh. All right. Let's get rid of this because it's covering your face. There's my big boy. There he is. So you guys can see him right here. He's a big boy. Oh, microphone's in the way. Okay. I wish I had a spot for you here. Maybe we can put you. Do you want to sit up here? Do you want to go up on the desk? All right, come here. No? Oh no. You're not used to being up here. Okay, you know what? Ugh. Want to say hi? No, you just want to go, right? Yeah. Yeah. You know what we should do? We should make one of the cameras to face you. Yeah. Do you want to go? Do you want to go? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. I'm going to let you go because this isn't comfortable for you. Okay? There you go. Okay. Yeah, you guys can't see from the angle here. But anyway, there's Loki. He's yeah, he would probably sit up here if he could get up here. I usually put a box so he can't anyway. Okay, bud. Maybe we should make this wide camera a Loki camera and put like his perch in here. Maybe. That's something I've always thought about. Anyway. Yeah, special guest. All right, so let's talk more about the Pixel. Everything moved when he sat down here. Let's talk more about the 7, going from the 7 Pro to the 7A. So like I said, the main reasons why I'm going from 7 Pro to 7A is because of the size and the flat screen. Am I going to miss having a telephoto lens? Absolutely, I'm going to, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And the reason I say that is because I want to show you guys some photos here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here with you. And let's go ahead and bring this up. All right, there we go. Now, this is my Threads account here. This is probably the easiest way to do this. Let's go down here. And this is Threads desktop. It doesn't work. Like, you can't post from desktop, but you can definitely browse. Okay. So, yeah, right here, 5 days ago. Road trip to Waterton Park International Peace Park, Alberta, Canada, Google Pixel 7a. So hopefully these photos give you guys a good idea of the quality and whatnot. Very natural colors, nothing oversaturated. Selfie camera there with my wife. A little bit of video. This is 4K 30. Hopefully that's showing through okay for you guys. A little 4K 30 action there. And again, you guys can check all this stuff out on my Threads account there. Okay. This is Waterton Lake. This hotel up here is called the Prince of Wales. By the way, part of The Last of Us was actually filmed in Waterton. Specifically the part where they're trying to escape from the cannibals and whatnot. That whole part was filmed in Waterton. Okay, so he left. Loki left. Gonna keep on going through here. This right here was about a 10x zoom. I think it's either 10 or 15x zoom. And the detail is there. That's the Prince of Wales Hotel. So if we go back here, you can see like where I am right here. This is just a regular 1x. And then that was about a 10 or 15x right there. Zoom. And I was very, very impressed. The detailing is all there. It looks good on social media. Really, really good. Again, this is all Pixel 7a. I took some of these. I like taking pictures like this. I don't know why, where I have kind of like, I don't know. Connor, maybe you can help me out here. What do you call this? Like this is one of the stumps there for the fence. And then I always like to have it blurred in the foreground and then the background, obviously, in focus, whatnot. This is on the way. Now, it was about 35 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but that's freaking hot, okay? And this is specifically what I was checking. I went from inside of an air-conditioned vehicle to outside 35 degrees Celsius and took these pictures and video that you're going to see in a second here. But what kind of photo do you call this, where this is purposely, defocused? I know there's a word, bokeh, bokeh. I don't know, but I really like taking photos like this where I have something in the foreground, but then in the background you can still see like what it was. Depth of field bokeh is what it's traditionally called. A great way to spice up a shot. Exactly. That's what I like to do. That's what I like to do. What's the max zoom super res with the 7a? Good question. Let me bring it up here. And okay, there it is right there. If you guys can, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see. It's 8x. I don't know if you guys can see that down there. It says 8x. So if I said 10 or 15, I was completely wrong. So going back here, let's go back here. So this would have been an 8x photo, is what that would have been. I wish I'd kept track. Fun fact, the word bokeh, or is it bokeh or bokeh? Japanese word. There you go. Anyway, continuing on. Let me just, I have to click over here. Continuing on. Let me flip this back around here. So yeah, I like taking photos like that. This is a little bit further back before we went to the picnic tables and whatnot. It was definitely a good day to go because it was hot and there were not nearly as many tourists and whatnot that there would be on the weekend. Apparently it was very, very busy there over the weekend. A couple of photos of the kids. So again, going back to this right here, this was that pullover rest stop. A couple of pictures of my kids there. And then down by the water again to get the nice clarity of the water and everything. It's very clean there. You can go in the water if you want. It's nice and cool. Again, there's the Prince of Wales Hotel. Another selfie there with the wife. I think that's all the photos. Those were all the photos in the first set that I posted. And then this is really cool. So a few more photos from Waterton Park and Cameron Falls. So Cameron Falls is part of Waterton Park. Let's go back here. And so I took a slow motion video. I hope this translates well. So this is just a regular photo. And then I took this slow motion video with the Pixel 7a. I hope it comes through okay for you guys. I don't know if I can fast forward or anything like that, but I took a like 10-second video. It works out to like 30 seconds in the end there. I just rested the phone on the fence there and took this photo. So you can see I kind of panned over a little bit, and I think it does jump a bit when you zoom, which is expected with the slow motion. So this is me just panning slowly and then bringing it down. And I think that was I think this is 1/8 slow-mo. But I thought it came out really, really nice. I thought this came out really, really nice. Again, selfie there gets us Cameron Falls. You can see we're kind of in the shadows there with some sunlight and everything like that. If you zoom in, you can see the phone right here. It was in a case, of course. We'll talk about that. Picked up some ice cream. Yes, we had to have ice cream. And I took another one of these things. This is a different part of the lake here. Ice cream in the foreground there, defocus there. Here you can go in. It's kind of rocky. It's a little bit rocky in this area here. There's no sand and everything like that. But the kids went in there, cooled off a little bit. It was really quite nice. I didn't go in there because nobody wants to see me without a shirt on. This is the ultra wide. So if you look back, you can see part of the mountain here, and then the rest over here, and then this is the ultra wide. So here's just this is a 2x because I wanted to cut off the beach there, and then there's the ultra wide. There's the ultra wide, which gets a lot of it and everything like that. I should have used magic eraser on this person here. Maybe I will later. And then there's a few feet back as well. Actually, that might be 1x. That might be the ultra wide right there. That actually might be the ultra wide. So 2 or 3x, 1x, ultra wide. I think that's what that is. I wish I had kept track. But hopefully this gives you guys an idea. Like, I don't see any curving on the edge. Nothing like that. Everything is coming out really quite well. So there's some more additional photos in slow motion. And then I took some... I'll show you guys over on Twitter. I took some other photos as well. Now, so we also stopped in Cardston. Cardston is a town on the Alberta. It's very, very close to the Montana border, actually. This is, I believe this is the largest Mormon temple in North America. It might be the second largest. They're celebrating 100 years this year. Now, we're not Mormon, but it's such an impressive structure. It is really quite amazing. But they give us a little tour on the outside and everything like that. They're really, really quite nice. And this is just an amazing structure. This is over on the west end of it. It's on 10 acres. Yeah, take a shot every time Zach says Twitter. Amen, man. Amen. Yeah. But this Mormon temple is just something else. I've never been here before, but I've always wanted to come down and take a look at it. It's just an impressive building. This is an ultra wide shot. And then the guy there took a picture of all of us and everything in front of it. I have this bad habit of leaning whenever I take photos with family. I don't know why. I always lean. So it's not the camera, it's me. I have this bad habit of leaning all the time. There's a 2x shot, but quite an impressive building. Now, did I take any more? I took a picture of in the washroom there. I thought that, okay, I know this is weird, but just hear me out here. This sink makes so much sense. You got the soap on the left, water, and then drying, but it also drips down into the sink. And I just thought that was awesome. I don't normally take pictures in washrooms, but I just thought that was really cool. That was at one of the rest stops. Now, this right here is 4K 60 video. 4K 60 taken with the Pixel 7a. This specific video, I specifically took this outside. As you guys know, it was 35 degrees there. I wanted to take this video to see if I would get an overheating warning or anything, and I did not. I did not. So I took this video. I actually ended up using it and putting it to half speed, so it was nice and smooth on TikTok and on Reels as well. So if you want to take a look at it there. But this is the unedited video with just my voice, and you can see that on Threads if you want to see that on Threads. And one thing I'm also noticing about Threads is it doesn't look like Threads is compressing compared to what Twitter does, at least in my eyes. I don't know this for sure. But that's the 4K 60 video. If you want to see that completely unedited, it is on Threads, okay? Now let's jump over to X, or whatever you want to call it. And I have a few more photos I wanted to show you guys. I did post a couple specifics here. And these pictures are all these pictures of Loki were also taken with the Pixel 7a, because I've been using it for the last week, right? Just terrific. And again, I don't edit my photos. If I do edit my photos, I always mention it, okay? Anyway, going through here, and yeah, and by the way, I know that with this photo here, I put this extra part here about transparency. I've started putting the metadata for specific photos in my posts, whether it's here, Threads, or whatnot, because some other people in our community have decided to post photos and then later on, oh, I tricked you, it's actually this device, and I'm not down for that. And I just, for transparency reasons, I've been posting the metadata, in case you've been wondering about that. Here, there's Don Coven right there. Don's awesome, good friend of the channel, good supporter of the community. Don's awesome. Had a good time with him. But let's scroll down, and I think I had, what was that? Ah, here we go. This was a really cool use of the long exposure. So with the long exposure, we got this nice, smooth look of the water. If we go back to threads, let's see if we can find that photo. Okay. So here we go. Here's the regular photo without the long exposure. And then here it is with the long exposure. Hopefully you guys can see that there. So there's without, and there's with. And I really like what the long exposure there does with water and everything like that. I just think it's kind of a cool feature, and away we go kind of thing. So having some fun with the features of the Pixel 7a as well. That's been a lot of fun. So there's a little bit of a you know, picture tour and video and whatnot that I took with the Pixel 7a. So what is the whole point of this live stream? I guess I just wanted to share my experiences, which is what I draw a lot of my content from, using the device, why I've ultimately come to that conclusion. I still need to set up a few apps over here and switch a few things over, and then ultimately throw my SIM card again from here into here. It's not an eSIM, it's a regular SIM card here that we have in Canada still. So I'll be doing that very soon, probably later on today once I have a chance to edit the stream and whatnot. But if you've been looking at a new Pixel device, let's say you're coming from Pixel 6, Pixel 6a, 5, you know, anything older, and you're wondering, do I need to spend the money on the Pro to have a great experience? I'm going to say no. Now, a couple things. You're not going to get the macro photography with this. You will not get the macro photography with this. This might be an important part for you. Important feature if you take a lot of photos, if you like to have those different features. There are some slight differences there when it comes to the differences and whatnot. In fact, we're gonna hop over to the Google Pixel store here and take a look at the differences between the Pro and the 7a. So I'm gonna bring up the Pixel 7 Pro here, and then you can actually do a side-by-side comparison on their website. This is you know, this is through Google and whatnot. This is not a third-party website. They're being very transparent about this. So let me just switch these up. And just for fun, because it asks for 3, I'm going to put the Pixel XL here. So let's go ahead and present this to you guys. All right, which Pixel for you? So on the left here, we have the 7 Pro. In the middle, 7a, and on the right, I put the Pixel XL, just for the heck of it, okay? Of course, we know that the Pro is bigger. Again, here's your dimensions, your differences, okay? Now, with the Pro, you are going to get a quad HD screen. That's one of the biggest differences, but honestly, I cannot tell the difference, to tell the truth. That's a big difference right there. So FHD versus quad HD. Of course, you do need to turn that on, because when you get the Pro, it will default to FHD, okay? Aspect ratio is practically the same there. Very interesting about the high brightness. I didn't have any issues with either device. I'll say this, though, the Pixel devices in general do need to be brighter. They need to definitely work on this, because even sometimes with the Pro, I was not finding it bright enough depending on the sunlight I was in, okay? When it comes to the screen refresh, the Pro is coming at max 100 up to 120 hertz. Again, the 7a up to 90. I can't tell the difference. Maybe it's my eyes. I can't tell the difference between 120 and 90. I really can't. And this is scrolling Twitter. This is posting on Threads. This is going on Facebook, whatever it is, social media, things like that. Watching video, I cannot tell the difference between 90 and 120. I really can't. I know Don and I talked about this for a bit as well. Again, you got HDR on there, always on display, always playing at a glance. So very, very similar here. In terms of the battery, it did take the 7a about 10 days to kind of settle in, but I am getting, for myself personally, I am getting all day, even though there's about a 700 milliamp difference between the two. Okay, your mileage may vary. Okay. Again, you get the wireless charging with both. You don't get battery share on the 7a, which is not something I've used a lot, but it can be handy. It can be very handy. Okay. Fingerprint resistant coating, IP67, ICP68 over on the 7 Pro. So again, your 7A can take a splash there. I wouldn't go dunking in the water. Okay. 12 gigabytes of RAM on the Pro, 8 on the 7A. I personally have never experienced a slowdown except when I was initially setting this up and downloading all my apps. That was the only time I ever experienced a slowdown. Okay. Titan M2 in both of them. Okay. Of course, they both have Tensor G2 here. Okay. Fingerprint unlock has been great for myself. I love the face unlock as well. All right. Now we go into the camera section. So the 7A does have a 64 main sensor there, opposed to 50. Just means you're going to get a little more detail. I think for most people, it's going to be perfectly fine. But again, if you're into the whole mobile photography and whatnot, you may want to look at the Pro. I think for 99% of people, the 7A is going to be fine. Again, we're going to get down to some of the features and whatnot, so we're gonna take another look at that. Okay. Ultra wide is coming at 13, where the Pro is 12. Little bump there, not a big difference. And of course, for zooming, the Pro is going to have the telephoto, the 7A does not. Okay, and again, this is something you need to factor in. Do I take a lot of photos? Am I zooming a lot? And if you are, you're going to want to look at the Pro. Okay, and of course, your selfie camera coming at 13, where the Pro is at 10. Okay, now features, camera features. Now we already talked about the macro mode. So for example, the 7 Pro here is going to have the macro focus. The 7A is not. Other than that, they have all the same features when it comes to the camera. You're gonna get the photo on board, night sight, top shot, portrait, super res, motion autofocus, HDR, frequent focus, dual exposure mode, cinematic pan, portrait light, magic eraser, long exposure, real tone, face on blur, panorama, manual, white balancing, and locked folder. So you're just not going to get the macro. That's the only thing in terms of camera features you're not going to get on the 7A. Not a huge difference there. Okay. 3 microphones as opposed to 2 on the 7A. I've never noticed a difference here. Spatial audio, I have noticed a little bit difference, but I don't listen to enough spatial audio. Again, if you're looking for that premium experience, better camera, audio is important too. You definitely want to look at the 7 Pro. Okay. But for watching YouTube, watching Netflix, Disney Plus, playing back audio and whatnot, the 7A is, that's going to do it for you, I think, right? And that's it. Those are basically the differences and whatnot. It's kind of wild when you look at the differences between these newer generation Pixels and here's the Pixel XL, like the first generation. But there you guys go. There's your differences. So I hope that paints a better picture for anybody that might be looking at these devices. I would 110% recommend the 7A for anybody that's looking to go to a Pixel that's coming from a Pixel 6 or older. You want to save the dollars and whatnot, definitely. But again, if you're looking for the best in every single feature, all the best cameras, whatnot, the Pro is still going to be the best way to go. Why am I not talking about the Pixel Fold? Because I don't have a Fold here. I haven't used one. And I know on paper, when you look at the camera systems, whatnot, with the Fold, it is technically the Pro is better with the camera systems on paper, but you kind of have to make that decision for yourself, kind of thing, when you look at them, whatnot. You're buying a Pixel Fold for that primary folding feature and whatnot, I think, right? Or at least to have the option of it. I know there's a lot of people that are using at least a lot of people in the community, it seems like, I have been using an outer display of the Pixel Fold, and then only when they need to have more space or multitasking, that's when they're opening it, and that's why they like that outer display, that bigger outer display, compared to like a Galaxy Z Fold, for example. But it's good to have preferences out there. It's good to have choices out there, in terms of devices and whatnot. Let's dive into the live chat. You guys have been saying a lot here. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anything here. It's kind of interesting how just up till a few years ago, you couldn't take a 4K 60 video on a budget phone. I think it's just wild, man. It's just when you think about the last few years, the jumps and everything like that, it's crazy. It's Twitter and always will be Twitter. Oh, by the way, we're going to be switching out the wallpaper for this. So you guys can help me pick a wallpaper for this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get to that screen where the wallpapers are, because I have them all saved. And again, these are Trenton's wallpapers. Okay, so we're gonna go through this. You guys are gonna help me pick out a color. So there's the more dynamic colors, and then here's the pastels. So you guys will help me pick out a new wallpaper for the 7A here in just a little bit once we go through the chat here. Remember a time when Jonathan Morrison tricked everyone by editing a photo and claiming 4 different phones that took the same photo? I don't know if he tricked. I think it was wasn't it a Poco phone? I wasn't specifically referring to that. It's more recent events and whatnot in the community and whatnot. And I just think it's good for transparency reasons to be posting the metadata sometimes. Long exposure did look good, right? Yeah. The blue looks better than the black 7 Pro. Oh, you're talking about the colors here? Yeah, so I know that the color is really bad here. Yeah, at least my studio. Maybe if I turn my regular lighting on, maybe you guys will get a better idea. But yeah, it's let me see if I can turn this. Let me turn this. Let's put you guys here and then turn this off. You can see it's more of a blue, right? The lighting here unfortunately kind of washes things out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong button. There we go. Put that back down there. Make sure these things are straight. There we go. All right. Connor says you can get the Pixel 7 Pro here for 600 euros. Now that's a steal. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, and I talked about this during the last stream. Pixel prices will all drop in November-ish, especially around Black Friday. But buying directly from Google, they're only going to have the 7A and the 8 Pro and probably the Fold. I don't know if they'll have the 7 and 7 Pro on there. They'll definitely have the 7A because it was released this year, along with the 8 Pro and the Fold. They won't necessarily have the 7 and 7 Pro, so you may have to go to like a third party or go directly to your carrier and whatnot. Oh my God, Zach asked when my next it's in the calendar. What? Oh yeah, okay. So funny story about this. My wife and I have this rule that if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist. So we're talking about like events, like family events, taking the kids to like sports, different things like that. And it was so funny. I guess Don's trying to get his wife on board with this as well, but she uses a Pixel. Don uses an iPhone. I guess I could both use Google Calendar, but it was kind of funny that we were like kind of both complaining about that and everything. Yeah, if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist. That's how my wife and I stay organized, because if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist. Like, did you pick up the kids? What? It's not in the calendar. Okay, better go get the kids, right? So, I'll be surprised if the Pixel 8 series doesn't have a Qi 2 functionality. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see that as well. I know that we don't talk a lot in the community about the faster charging and whatnot, but it would be really quite nice to have those extra features. I could definitely see the Pro having it. We'll see what happens. Pixel XL feels like a fossil now. Yeah, but the blue was nice. It really was. Every foldable has a compromise, but the cameras in the Fold aren't as bad as other foldables. Yeah, and I think the idea, Connor, here is you get the proof of concept to show people that it's available, that's more popular, and then start adding those additional things. Because if you throw all the best in, you're just gonna have these crazy prices. And for example, the Pixel Fold right now is already $1,800 US. That's like 2,300 Canadian. If you can imagine, if you threw the same cameras in there as what the Pixel Pro has, you could probably easily add another $200 or $300 to that, depending, right? Yep. Khalil says, I think the juice is starting to get to Zach. I'll have to catch the replay to understand his reasonings, but I think I get the idea. Yeah, it's just it really, Khalil. I mean, it really boils down to. I mean, I have bigger hands, but I find this a lot more comfortable. I find this to be just satisfying everything that I need in a device. I would love if it had a telephoto, but that's a compromise I'm willing to give up, even though I do take a lot of photos, in order to have the smaller size and the flat screen. It really is. And I know that may not make sense or equate for other people, but that's why we have choices and whatnot. So, things to think about. Maybe if you do take a lot of photos, maybe it's something you've never thought about. Maybe you can do without, kind of thing, right? Aaron says, does the Google Pixel have better features than the iPhone? I'm seriously considering switching to... This is a loaded question. Does the Pixel have better features than the iPhone? I'm seriously considering switching to a Pixel over the iPhone. Also, are you able to use Apple Music on the Pixel? I don't think you can use Apple Music on the Pixel. No, I think that's an Apple thing. As for the better, it's gonna start with the operating system. If you are, I've always talked about this. If you are comfortable with Apple, if you're integrated, you know, you've got multiple devices, you like using things like AirDrop, stuff like that, I'm going to tell you to stick with Apple. I really am. Apple really makes it easy. It's simple. It just works most of the time. If you know that you can go back and forth between Apple and Androids or Pixel in this case, I would suggest you do a side-by-side comparison. Go to a website like GSM Arena, for example, and bring up both devices and look at them side by side. Definitely look at the other reviews and the other content that other creators have done on YouTube, on Instagram, Threads, whatever, Twitter, X, what do you want to call it. Definitely do your research. Don't just take what I'm going to say. I prefer an Android operating system. I don't use my iPhone. I mean, this is my iPhone right here. It's a glorified camera, and you know, I'm fine with that. But at the same time, this is a MacBook Pro. I stream on a Mac. I create my edited content with Final Cut Pro. I find that I can use both. So it's really going to start with the operating system. You need to look at that and go, can I switch between the two, or are there features of the operating systems like AirDrop and things like that, all the syncing, whatnot that Apple does, that you prefer? And then take a look. Is Pixel going to be offering me the same sort of thing? Is it going to break your workflow if you go from an Apple to Pixel? These are things you need to think about, right? I hope that helps. I hope that helps there. He says, hi, Zach. What do you think about people saying that the foldables are the future? Do you think that makes no sense? Okay, I understand what you're saying. I see a future of what we have right now. I see a future of both slab devices and foldable devices. I don't see I have a really hard time seeing a future of just foldables. I really do. I have a hard time of seeing that. And even then, if you look back 10, 20 years when we had flip phones, but we still had the candy bar, you know, full-size devices like this. Like Nokia was still doing full-size devices while Motorola was doing flip phones, for example. And I know LG was making flip phones and stuff like that. So we had the choice of both, right? And then everything went to these slab devices, like starting with Blackberries and whatnot. So I see a future where we're going to have both. I don't see a future where it's going to be exclusive. I see a future where these are where flip devices, folding devices are going to be much more affordable. These are going to be, you know, dirt cheap kind of thing and whatnot. And this is all good stuff for consumers and whatnot. I think it's a good thing for consumers. So I think we're going to have I think we're going to have some good choices going forward, just like how we do right now. I'm seriously considering going Pro and not Pro Max next time. Okay, with the iPhone, yeah. If you look at I mean, there's not a lot of big differences. We'll see what happens. For myself personally, if I upgrade this iPhone here, I'm probably just going to go regular iPhone, you know, 14 kind of thing. I don't think I'm going to be getting the 15. I see. I wish there was more of a size difference between the two, but that's fair. Yeah, I almost kind of wish that this was a little, just a tiny bit smaller, just a tiny bit. But just having that flat screen and just this good, you know, nice feel, everything feels good, everything like that. We're gonna switch out this wallpaper in just a little bit here. Okay, I'm gonna put these on an angle to hopefully trigger some people. There we go. Going through here. Aaron says, I have I have the Pixel Pro and use Apple Music. If you're talking about the app, I have it. Oh, okay. So here's something I didn't know. I was not aware of this. I was not aware that you could put Apple Music. Hold on here. Let's go to the Play Store. Wow. Is this the actual Apple Music? It is. Wow. Okay. So in here, Apple Music. Wow, so check this out. Okay, this is something I didn't know. Apple Music. I did not know that you could put Apple Music on a Pixel or Android device. I did not know this. I did not know that. That's something I've never even looked into. I use YouTube Music and Spotify. So wow. Wow. The more you know, the more you know. Wow. Okay. Okay. I never claimed to be an expert. A says here, I'm curious to see your opinion on Steve Jobs. Okay, hold on here. I'm curious to see your opinion on Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, as he a genius, the way he thought only the products, because people also made products, but his way of thinking in life. I have different thoughts about Steve Jobs. I think Steve Jobs was a brilliant marketer. That just was, he stepped on lots of toes and burned a lot of bridges, and but I think the legacy he left behind for Tim Cook and Apple right now has been good for consumers. It's not a his history is not, you know, sunshine and rainbows and unicorn farts. It's definitely not that. I definitely respect for what he did, but I think Steve was more of a, I really have to say that I think he was more of a very good salesperson and marketer than inventor. And I know that might make some people upset, but if you look at the history of the innovation and things like that that came from Apple and the things that he did, it was more about getting that message across and then sitting down and actually making things. He had a team behind himself the whole time and people that did things. I mean, you can ask Wozniak about that and everything like that. So I definitely could go deeper into that, but I'm not, I don't want to say I'm 100% versed in his history and whatnot, but based on what I know, but what I've seen in the past, that's kind of how I felt about Steve Jobs. Complete respect for him, like no hate at all. Don't get me wrong. I think he was a really good salesperson, really awesome marketer, and you can see that in today's Apple's marketing and whatnot. You know, they're not about the specs or anything like that. It's about the real usage and making sense of it, and you know, making it easy kind of thing for people. So 5.8 inch, that's a perfect size. There you go. My wife says the same thing. It's in the Play Store. Yeah, okay. I did not know you could get Apple Music. Wow. Going through here is Jonathan says, Zach, the only way I can see foldables only is if they make them cheap, because everyone would be paying almost $2,000 to get one a drink. Yeah, exactly. I see a future with both, man. I really do. I really hope it kind of stays like that. Yeah. Knowing is half the battle. There you go. Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. I don't want to say he was a good person, but I don't think he was the angel that some people make him out to be. But he was very good at what he did, of what he's done for technology and whatnot. I think that's kind of a safe way to say it. He had an incredible ability to create a vision and get people focused. Results on many levels, undeniable. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, I completely agree with that, Connor. Completely agree with that right there.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, we're an hour and 20 into this. We're just kind of like shooting the shit right now, right? So, haven't had our tasty beverage. Glad you guys are all tuning in this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are. That black cherry is so good, let me tell you. So, I guess later on today, I'll be moving the rest of my apps over from the 7 Pro into the 7A. And kind of going from there. By the way, side note, I've been using this case right here. I used this case when I went out last week. This is one of the ones from Caseology. They sent out. I've been using this right here for my 7A and whatnot lately, until I can probably get something a little bit thinner. But I like this because of the grip feel on it and everything like that. I can't remember which model this is, but this has been a good case. Caseology makes some good cases. Definitely check them out. Definitely. This is the part where I need like an affiliate link, but I don't have one ready. All right, let's change out the wallpaper on the Pixel 7a. So let me just this is funny. I thought I already did this. So I've got an update here for Android 13. I didn't do this for this month. Very interesting. Let me just go to this here. Yeah, I didn't update this yet. Pixel 7a. update. I thought I did update this phone. I did update my 6A. My wife updated her 7 and my 7 Pro, but I haven't updated this one. So we'll do that one later on. Let's go into wallpapers. All right, people. So here's Trenton's wallpapers. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do here is to make this easier, I'm going to bring up the folder I made. And so you guys can actually see all the wallpapers. So if you buy Trenton's wallpapers right now, and the link is down below, you're going to get access to all of these colors, okay? So here's the initial 9 colors. And let me just close that off there. Okay. So there's a green, there's the black, blue, red, pink, yellow, purple. This is one of my favorite. I like the purple, brown. And then we get into the pastels. So if you go over here, we got the purple here, kind of the brighter. And then you got the pastel. So here's the pastel colors. Green, orange, pink, got the blue. The blue looks nice. Yellow. I think this is like a red pink, I guess. You want to go brown. And then the silver. Now I have put the silver. If you guys can see this here, I've put the, notifications. You guys can see in the side panel here, I put the silver on my Pixel 7 Pro. Okay, but we're gonna pick a color here for the 7A here. Okay, so again, let's just go through these one more time. Okay, so you got the red, green. You guys go ahead and put in the chat there if you like what you prefer, like the red or the red pastel. So there's a green, black, blue, red, pink, yellow, purple, brown. Then now we're in the pastel. So this is a pastel purple, pastel green, pastel orange, pastel pink, pastel blue, pastel yellow, pastel, I think this is the red, yep. Pastel brown or pastel silver, okay? And there's a look at all of them right here, okay? So Ira's saying the blue, I think he means the regular blue. Jonathan wants the green. Pastel blue is perfect match for the phone. That's a very good point. Actually, I was kind of leaning towards that. So let's go ahead and stop that. I'm going to bring up the folder here. So here's the phone. You guys know it's that blue color, right? I think we'll do the pastel blue. So there's the pastel blue. And we'll just swipe up here. And we'll say... use as, there it is. Photo wallpaper, okay. And I want a little more dark than I want the white. So let's go right there. I'm gonna add the cinematic feature to it. So you guys will see it kind of move here. Let's give it a second to load. This is on the 7A again. Okay, see how it kind of moves there? And we'll set wallpaper and we'll do both home and lock. Okay, and there it is. Now this is really cool. Let me go back into wallpapers. One of the cool features here is you have these themed, see this option right here, themed icons. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off just for now. I'm going to go back. Now take a look at the icons for like photos, for Gmail, Play Store, etc. Okay, taking a look at social media here. Ew, it says X. Oh, it did auto update. But you see, these are the regular icons. If I go back and I turn on themed, see how that kind of nicely blends? You can specifically see that with the photo and the Gmail. Again, I'll go back here, turn that off. Okay, so there's the photo and Gmail. See in the bottom left there? Okay, and we'll turn that back on. And there we go. That looks nice. No specifically theme for the blue, kind of whatever. Now, if you also go to that wallpaper style, you can pick which color. So you guys can see right now it's kind of on a gray, kind of purple. Let's go to this blue one instead. And if we go back, okay, so those icons have a little bit more of a blue look to it. You guys can't, I don't know if you guys can see it there, but that looks really nice. There we go. So we'll go ahead and lock that. And we'll unlock that. Yeah. There we go. So that nicely matches the phone now. Thanks, Trenton. He's probably off doing stuff now. But that looks really good. So if you guys want to pick up Trent's wallpapers, the link is down below. I'm not getting an affiliate or anything like that. I'm just helping out a friend and fellow creator there and whatnot. So, yeah. Pastel blue is a perfect match. I thought so. I thought so. Good thing it's on Android phone, so you can now download the APK for previous version of Twitter apps, so you can go back to the... Yeah, I guess I forgot that I had auto updates on here. I forgot that I had auto updates, but yeah, it's now called X. I still have regular Twitter. I still have regular Twitter over on my Pixel 7 Pro. So yeah, I'm gonna have to update. I mean, I'm switching to this anyway, so it is what it is. I don't think there's any differences other than the logo right now. Yeah, see, it says X at the top there, right? Yeah. Boo earns. Boo earns. Anyway. So hopefully through all this rambling, hopefully through all this back and forth and the questions and whatnot, that's why we do this. I'll be putting chapters in too for people to watch the replay. Hopefully through all this, I've made sense of my reasons of going to the Pixel 7a. And if you've had any reason, any thought of going to this device from any previous Pixel or previous Android, hopefully I've given you some things to think about, things to look at. As I've always said, please make sure you're watching other creators' videos, you're doing your research, you're reading the articles, you know, places like Verge, CNET, stuff like that. You know, the places that you trust. Make sure you're watching big creators and small creators and everything in between, and just properly weighing things. But I can tell you my experience has been awesome, and I really love having the smaller size and the flat screen, and I am willing to give up that telephoto, especially after my experience this week and going to Waterton and taking the pictures and the videos I did, the selfies, the slow-mo, the long exposure focus, you know, the foreground background type photos, doing all the things I did, especially taking 4K 60 and 4K 30 video in 35-degree plus weather. I'm convinced. Now let's keep in mind that once in a while, yes, there are devices out there that get sent out that people buy and they have a lemon right away. Listen, you should know within a week's time or less if a device is going to work for you. I always get really kind of like, what? When I read these Reddit threads or Pixel thread, or not Pixel, or these Twitter X threads or whatever you want to call them, of people saying, I've had the 7A for 4 months and it's been problem after problem. Okay, you didn't notice this right away. I mean, again, you have a warranty with Google and whatnot. You should take that directly to them or your carrier. There was recently, I think it was someone on Reddit who was complaining about the Pixel 7a or Pixel 7. They've had it for almost a year now. And they complained about problem after problem every month. And they actually documented it. And my initial response was, I don't think I actually replied to it, but some people responded the way I did, and they said, you didn't notice this? Like, after the first month, you should have, like, had that thing exchanged out. You have rights as a consumer, and most countries will take care of you depending on where you are. So make sure you guys are taking advantage of that. Get in touch with Google's customer service. I know that depending on the country you're in and whatnot, Google does sometimes have questionable customer service. I'm definitely working on a video about that, but I'm just trying to get together more information and whatnot, so it's not so much a hit piece. That's something we're going to talk about in the future. But, you know, if you're a regular kind of power user like I am and whatnot, or even mid-range kind of thing, you should know within the first 5, 6, 7 days if the device is going to work for you, right? So hopefully that all, you know, hopefully that helps you guys out here. Connor says here, yeah, you know, day one if it didn't work, because most issues crop up when you're installing on your app and you're using it most during the honeymoon period. Exactly. As I said before, the only slowdown I really had with the 7A was when I was switching apps. Like I always do a clean install, so I go in and I install all my apps. I don't do a switch. I go in and manually do it, and that's the only time I really noticed a slowdown and kind of like battery really taking a hit. But that was in the first 48 hours. After that, you know, 5-6 days later, it was it's been perfectly fine. It's been really, really, really good. Really good. So anyway, people, I didn't think we'd be going this long. I did promise you guys longer live streams. I appreciate everybody showing up today, especially the people in different time zones. You know, everybody over in Ireland, there in the UK and Europe and whatnot, that have a chance to kind of tune in. If you're watching the replay, hopefully the chapters have helped out. I forgot to put chapters in last week. I'm going to do that as soon as we're done here. Make sure you guys are following me over on X, Threads, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, by the way, did you guys see that Threads now has a following and a For You tab? They actually added this in. Check this out. Let me bring up Threads here. So now, if you're on Threads, you have to hit the logo at the top here. But now you can go to a For You or a Following. And this has made it really more enjoyable and whatnot. I think I need to update it on my 7A. But now there's a For You and a Following page. I always felt that these should have been here right from the start. But that's new on Threads. That's kind of nice that they finally added that. So anyway, people, if you guys have more to you want to talk about whatnot, let's definitely talk about it. That is so good. That is so good. That's the black cherry there. Definitely checked it out. Yeah, on the Don says here with Threads. Yeah, it is a much more enjoyable experience. I hope they somehow integrate the hashtags so it's not such a mess. Kind of like how Twitter can be sometimes with hashtags, whatnot. I had this great idea, and I don't know if they're gonna do it. Where I thought that hashtags should be searchable and clickable once you click into a thread, but they would be like on the back end of the thread post. So you don't see them when you're scrolling, but if you search or if you click on a thread, then you can see the hashtags. So it's kind of like alt text, like with pictures and video. You know, alt text, you can put the description and everything in the background. I always thought that that'd be kind of cool to have the hashtags in the background, but I guess people will also want to see what the hashtags are when they're scrolling. So it's interesting how that's kind of become a must with a lot of social media and whatnot. So going through the rest of my bookmarks here. Let's see, we talked about that. We talked about that. We talked about this. We talked about that. We got Trenton's. Take a look here. Yeah, you guys saw Trenton's wallpapers there. We're good there. We did the comparisons. I think we're good to go. All right, people. So next live stream should be next Sunday, same time-ish or so. I'll have the stream up either the night before or early in the morning like I did today. Otherwise, still hoping to get some content out on the Pixel channel. I'm not going to go into details, but I've had some issues with YouTube over on the Pixel channel, and I'm trying to get it resolved. Just kind of silliness and some stuff I overlooked on my part. So I have to fix a couple things over there before I can publish again. It wasn't a strike so much, it was just some other things. So I'm trying to get things taken care of there. And otherwise, you guys can find me on the threads, or X. God, what a terrible name. The app formerly known as Twitter. And you know, if anything breaking or anything else happens this week, come on through. Thanks again to all the channel members. One more time for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate all you guys' support and whatnot. The super chats, you guys' constant support, the people that are in the Discord and whatnot. I do appreciate you and whatnot. And again, all the people sending support and kind words and whatnot about Loki. I appreciate it. I'll keep you guys updated because he's my little model there for you know, for when I'm posting pictures and whatnot. So I think he'll be okay. We just got to change that diet up and everything like that. So anyway, people, I'm going to let you guys all go. You guys all have a great day. And I'll see you on social media. I'll be adding some chapters of this once we finish up. And I guess I'll see you next week for the live stream. All right, take care. Cheers.